What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I want to continue to talk about Spawn. This is going to be like a character review on Spawn, but I can't really say a complete character review because it's still very early. So consider this like a first impressions part 2 mixed with a character review. So it's going to be something like that. But I'm going to be covering how I feel about this character and basically a lot of things in this video on Spawn. So, first things first, the variations. The first variation is absolutely horrible. The first variation is one of the worst variations in the game, and they were completely lazy when they made it, and it is just absolutely like the worst. One of the worst variations in the game, like no debate. When he first came out, I wanted to not look at the variation like that completely. I wanted to be like, okay, maybe we need to give it some time. But after like a couple hours, it's easy to tell that this variation is just absolutely weak and there's no reason to play it. Do not touch this first variation at all. It is horrible, and it's just another to the many variations in this game that are completely unviable. Don't touch that variation. So yeah, let's get that one out of the way right now. Now, the second variation. This variation has the obvious tools and strengths. Like, it has the damage, it has the vortex, and yeah, that's basically it. This is the variation you are going to want to pick up if you just want to have an easy time and you play more reserved, patient, methodical, like that. The third variation, and these are just quick overviews of the variation, if that's all you want to hear. The third variation is the more, I wouldn't say traditional, it's the variation that I feel like most people should pick up because it caters to how most people play. Wild. This variation is the one where you just go crazy and do that mid and the low, mid and the overhead. It's the one poking the special. This is the one where you're going to go crazy, and this is how most people play fighting games, to be honest, this variation. So, quick overview again of the quick overview. First variation, trash. Second variation, obviously good. And this one is the one I feel like people should pick up. And honestly, I feel like variation 3 has the most depth. And if this one ends up being top tier, I wouldn't be surprised. Because it's still too soon. Because this one is obviously like high mid to mid. This one is horrible. But this one has the most depth. So we need to watch how variation 3 is going to develop. If this one ends up being the best one or top tier, I would not be surprised at all, like I said. So yeah, let's get into the match now, so I can cover some more things on the character. Go to Shang Tsung Island Ruins. But yeah, that character, this character, Spawn, is interesting, to say the least. Like, the way that they chose to design him is interesting, but I'm going to cover that in a bit. So yeah, this variation has the obvious strengths. This right here, you're going to be hit confirming, this right here, all of that into this. And getting your basic combo. Like, he can do the float stuff, but, I would recommend just doing that for now. But until people, find a way to, I'm not going to say optimize the float stuff, but if we see the float stuff is viable mid-screen, because I'm still not completely sure about the float stuff mid-screen, I would say just do that. But that's still amazing damage. Like, for hit confirm, most people don't get around that damage in this game off of one bar. Well, no, matter of fact, I can't say that. Most people in this game, that's around the damage they get, but the simplicity of it, it's literally just walk up a bit and do that. So yeah, but I can't say most people don't get around 32, but off of the 1-1, most people get around that damage in this game. But yeah, this is the one where it's just obvious. Like, okay, I'm gonna pick this one, I'm gonna do this and hit confirm. You know, I'm gonna do the 1-1 hit confirm. I'm gonna try to space them out and then hit them in neutral with this right here and get my damage. And this is not really a guide, but I want to talk about the 2 tech things that I found out about this character. Well, matter of fact, if I make a guide, I'm gonna save that. But the one is definitely the variation you want to pick up if you just want an easy character. And that's basically it. Now, the third variation, that's the one with the depth. Like I said earlier. Let's switch to it. This move right here. Alright, got some water real quick. This move right here is absolutely like unfair. I'm not saying that makes the character unfair. It's still too soon to tell, like I said, but this move is not right. Every time they give somebody in the game a move like this, like the character just instantly is good. And what I mean by that is like a meter burn save, like special cancelable move. Those type of moves are good in this game that are fast too. So he can like, let me set the block. He can down one into it. You know, you get some mix off of it. And yes, the mix is fuzzyable, but people don't really fuzzy like that. Like, you know, if you think about it, it's like, okay, you can fuzzy it, but a lot of the time, you know, people are not looking out for it. So yeah. And this variation gives him access to a high-low and a double-low. So if you watch my fuzzy video, if you don't know what that means, just search like Nickopz discusses fuzzies or something like that. But if you watch my fuzzy video, that means this character cannot be fuzzied. If you want to know what that means, go look at that more. But I'm not saying like his strings can't be, but when he walks up and do a first initial hit, he cannot be fuzzied. So what that means, if he walks up to you and does a high into a low, or a low, or an overhead, or a short hop, you have to guess one of those. Like your brain literally does not let you react to this, that low, and this overhead at the same time. That's really good, the access to this move. This move just does so much for him. Like, it goes under projectiles, it gives him the counter poke stuff right here, and it's a mix up. Like, this move is amazing. Like, if they threw this move on the 1, it would be instantly, that variation would be like definitely top tier. It wouldn't be debatable. But this move is absolutely crazy. Like, it really is. And yeah, this one makes this mid right here amazing. Like, off of this mid, you get multiple options. You get the mid overhead, you get the mid low, and you get the mid into the command grab. Now, this command grab is 26 frames, but because you're looking out for so much stuff, it can end up, you know, throwing you off. And he also gets to cancel into the low right here. So he has a lot of options in this variation. So that's why I say this variation could end up being top tier, but we don't know yet. I want to make that clear. We do not know yet. I just want to point out that I think this one has the most depth. Now, this is obviously unsafe, but it pushes you really far. So some characters might have a hard time punishing that from how that pushes you away. Now, a lot of people, you know, will try to do this right here, but I think more people should try doing this into that, because that creates more mind games. You know, you got to cancel with it and everything. But still, don't stop doing this, because this move is absolutely stupid. But yeah. So, I guess this video has turned into more of a Variation 3 like discussion, because this one is just so good. There's a lot of talk about this variation. And you know, he has invisibility off the command grab, if I remember correctly, and everything. And he has the anti-breakaway stuff that I'm pretty sure people are going to optimize very well. This variation, even though it's not the one that chunks out the most damage, it's the one with the tools. So yeah. And his damage, for the most part, is not like that impressive in this variation. Like, he's going to be getting the chain stuff off of this variation. not the launching one, the one where if he gets like the right combo or something, he can get something like this. You know, he can get something, but you know, you're gonna pick the other one if you just flat out want the damage. But yeah, this is the one where he's gonna be opening you up a lot and everything, checking you with this move, and basically just doing what he wants. So yeah, that's how I feel about the third variation. Third variation I went on a lot about. But the next thing I have to talk about is, did they get this character right in the way that they designed him? Now, Spawn is it's obvious that a lot of people wanted Spawn, and he's a very popular character released into this game. So, when this character was going to come out, I thought a bunch of things. And the first thing I thought is, if he's broken or overpowered, everybody's going to play this character. Like, it's going to be obvious. He's Spawn. People wanted him. He looks freaking cool. And a lot of people were going to play this character if he was just obviously broken. And I'm just like, the only way that they were going to keep people off this character is if they designed him a certain way. And the way that they designed him is the perfect way that I thought that they were going to design him if they wanted to keep people off of this character. Now, you might be thinking, wait, you're saying you might be thinking, wait, you don't think they wanted people to play Spawn? I think that they know what they were doing when they designed this character, because if they wanted a lot of people to pick up this character, they would have made him more straightforward, like Liu Kang or something. But he's not really that straightforward, so I think that they did that on purpose. That way, you know, they could cut down how many people are going to play him so the game could have more character diversity. That's just a hunch that I have, because the way that this character is designed is not how most people play. He is more defensive than he is offensive. But in this variation, he obviously the third variation, he obviously has more offensive options. But the way that they designed him, I feel like they did it on purpose, so only a certain type of player would like this character. Now, the one variation that, what I'm saying right now, let's just say variation 2, because we're saying the one and then keep talking. But variation 2 definitely proves that they tried to do that, because, in my opinion, because variation 2 is not for most people. Variation 2 is a slow, methodical, patient type. I'm gonna bait you out with this move, whiff punish, this, that. That's what the one variation is. He's not really gonna be going crazy. Now, the third variation is the one that people should pick up if they want to play that more traditional type. Well, I ain't gonna say traditional. If they want to play how most people play fighting games, and that's just wild. But that's not gonna be obvious to most people because it is not chunking out all that damage. And this one, I think, has the most depth. So yeah, that's how. So when it comes to how they designed him, I don't think that they did a horrible job at all. They obviously had a way that they wanted him to play, but I personally feel like if they wanted more people to play this character, they should have made him more accessible, like Liu Kang or something. But there's nothing wrong that they didn't do that. I just feel like if they wanted people on this character, that's what they should have done. And they obviously knew the character was going to be popular. So I guess that was their way of making sure that this character just doesn't completely take over the game. Because he's honestly not for everybody. He's not a one-shoe-fits-all character. So yeah, that's basically how I feel about Spawn, everybody. This was like my early character review in a way, on and basically talking about how I feel about this character. And I'm really interested to see how this character develops in the meta. I still feel like this character, like naturally, base kit wise, is around mid-tier. Like somewhere around mid-tier. But like I was saying earlier, if this third variation ends up becoming top tier, I would not be surprised at all. Because we gotta see how this third variation is gonna develop. Because the second variation is just too obvious. So yeah, everybody, that's how I feel about Spawn as of now. That was a lot, but I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch and my Patreon, and Nickopz out.